My sister wants me to forgive her and give her kids an aunt, but does she deserve one? 7 years ago, I was 10 weeks pregnant when I miscarried. The cramps started at work, and by the time I got to the hospital, I knew something was wrong. They confirmed it that night. I'd lost the baby. My husband didn't come to the hospital. He texted saying he had a work emergency and would see me at home. I came home at 2 a.m., exhausted and heartbroken, and found him in our bed with my sister. They were both awake when I walked in. Neither of them scrambled to cover up or explain. My sister just sat there pulling the sheets around herself, and my husband said, "We need to talk about this like adults." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I grabbed my phone, took a photo of them both in my bed, and walked out. I stayed at a motel that night. The next morning, I called a lawyer. They both showed up at my work 3 days later, trying to apologize. My sister said it just happened and that she never meant to hurt me. My husband said we could go to therapy and work through it. I told them I wanted a divorce, and I wanted nothing from him. Not the house, not the car, not a single piece of furniture. I just wanted out. Then 2 weeks later, my mom called and told me my sister was pregnant. I hung up on her. My parents kept trying to get me to be reasonable. They said the baby didn't ask to be born into this situation and that I should think about what's best for the family. I told them the family died the night I walked into my bedroom. I cut off everyone. My sister married my ex 6 months after our divorce was finalized. They had the baby, then 2 more after that. For years, my parents would send me pictures of the kids. I never opened them. They'd invite me to birthday parties and holidays. I never responded. I moved 2 hours away and started over. 3 years ago, I met someone at a coffee shop. He was kind, funny, and had this huge, loving family. We got married 2 years ago, and his family welcomed me like I'd always been there. His sister has 4 kids, and they call me Auntie. We go to the park, bake cookies, watch movies. I love those kids more than I ever thought possible. I finally felt like I had a family again. Then 3 months ago, my sister called me at work. I didn't recognize the number, so I answered. She was crying. "I need you," she said. "Please, I need my sister." I hung up. An hour later, my mom texted, "Your sister needs you right now. Please call her." I blocked the number. 2 days later, my dad called from a different phone. "Your sister lost a baby," he said. "She's devastated. You need to be there for her." I said, "No, I don't," and hung up. A week passed. Then my mom showed up at my house unannounced. She was crying when I opened the door. "Please," she said, "your sister is falling apart. You know what it's like to lose a baby. You need to forgive her." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I said, "You're right. I do know what it's like. I also know what it's like to come home from the hospital and find your sister in your bed while you're bleeding out the baby you wanted more than anything." My mom's face went pale. "I know what it's like," I continued, "to have your parents beg you to forgive the person who destroyed your life because family is family. I know what it's like to be told you're selfish for not wanting to play aunt to the kids she made with your husband." She started to say something, but I cut her off. "I was the bigger person 7 years ago when I walked away quietly and let you all pretend I was the villain. I didn't tell anyone what really happened. I didn't ruin her wedding or make a scene at family events. I just disappeared so you could all be comfortable." My mom was shaking. "She's your sister. She stopped being my sister the night she slept with my husband while I was losing my baby," I said. "And you stopped being my mother the day you asked me to forgive her for it." I stepped back and closed the door. She stood on my porch for 5 minutes, crying. Then she left. That was 2 months ago. I haven't heard from any of them since. Last week, my husband's niece asked me to come to her school play. I sat in the front row with my husband and his family, and when she saw me, she waved so hard I thought her arm would fall off. After the show, she ran up to me and said, "I'm so glad you're my aunt." I hugged her tight and realized something. I already have a family, and they actually deserve me. Sometimes being the bigger person doesn't mean forgiving everyone. It just means knowing when to stay small in someone else's life and live big in your own.